You keep talking, you keep explaining, you keep justifying why you're not where you want to be. Every time you open your mouth, you give your power away. Shut up and win. You've been telling everybody what you're gonna do, what you would have done if they hadn't hurt you, what you could have been if life had been a little easier. But here's the truth. Nobody cares about the storm you survived if you're still sitting in the same place, soaking wet and talking about how hard it rained. We all got hit. We all fell. You think you're the only one who had pain, who had setbacks, who grew up with dysfunction? Stop selling your story like it's a limitation. Start using it like fuel. Every excuse you give is a self-imposed permission slip to stay average. Every time you say, I didn't have the support, you're telling yourself it's okay not to show up. Every time you say, I didn't have the resources, you're locking the gate to your own greatness. Let me tell you something. Most of the people who made it didn't have support either. They didn't have money. They didn't have connections. But what they had was a refusal to be ordinary. At some point, you got to stop explaining yourself and start proving yourself. You keep talking about how your boss doesn't value you, how your family doesn't believe in you, how the world is against you. But what are you doing? What actions are you taking? You can't control the world, but you can control your response. You can't make people see your worth, but you can become undeniable through your work. I used to tell people what I was going to become. One day I'm gonna make it. Watch you now. Be successful. Then I realized successful people don't announce their intentions. They show up early, stay late, grind in silence, and let the results slap the world awake. Nobody claps for potential, they clap for performance. You want to be celebrated? Earn it. Want respect? Build something. Don't post about your grind. Live it. Don't tweet about your goals. Achieve them. You know why some people never win? Because they talk themselves out of it before they even try. They convince themselves they're not ready, not strong enough, not smart enough. They run their mouth so much about their fear that they drown their faith. You got to stop rehearsing your losses and start visualizing your wins. Because here's the truth. What you feed will grow. And if you keep feeding your excuses, they will consume your future. You say, you want success, but do you really? Or do you want sympathy? You can't have both. You don't get to walk in power while begging for pity. Choose. You either win or you whine, but you don't get to do both. Listen, I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not here to coddle your ego. I'm here to tell you the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream about is your addiction to excuses. Yeah, I said it, addiction. Because you keep going back to them like they're a safe place, like they're protecting you, but they're not. They're killing your momentum. They're the chains you keep hugging. I've seen people come from nothing. I've seen people with no formal education, no connections, no handouts, no breaks, rise up, shut up, and win. Because they decided they were done telling their story and ready to rewrite it. They decided they were tired of being defined by their pain and ready to be defined by their purpose. You want to change your life? Start by changing your language. Start saying, it's my fault. It's on me. I'll fix it. I'll rise. That's the language of a winner. No more blaming, no more explaining, just ownership. You don't need closure. You don't need an apology. You don't need a fresh start from someone else. You need to stop talking and start building. That's it. You think the world owes you something because you've been through hard times? Nah. The world rewards people who respond to hard times. Nobody gets handed success because life was unfair. You get success because you made a decision. I will not be broken. I will not be average. I will not die full of dreams. I don't want to hear another word about how bad it was. I want to see how strong you became. I want to see how you used the pain. I want to see how you let your silence turn into strength, how you turn your mouth off and your grind on, because that's what winners do. They don't need to announce it. They just become it. So yeah, shut up, shut down the noise, shut off the fear, shut off the doubts, and win. Everybody wants to be seen, but nobody wants to sacrifice in silence. Everybody wants to shine, but they don't want to grind when nobody's clapping. Listen to me. If you can't train in the dark, you don't deserve to be seen in the light. You keep asking for your moment, but you haven't earned it in private. You want the stage, but you haven't mastered the struggle behind the curtain. You want people to respect your name, but they don't even know your worth. You want them to celebrate you, repost you, clap for you. But what have you done when nobody's watching? What have you done when there was no motivation, no likes, no applause? That's where greatness is built. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Champions don't need the mood to be right to move. They don't need energy, they bring it. They don't wait for a perfect day, they make one. You've been waiting for someone to notice you before you give full effort. That's why you're stuck. You're waiting to be noticed before you become excellent. But it doesn't work like that. You become excellent in secret. You become elite when nobody's checking for you. You build the muscle in the silence, in the repetition, in the work that goes unthanked. See, everybody loves the moment after the win, the trophy, the highlight, the attention. But what about the mornings you woke up tired and did it anyway? What about the nights you cried but kept pushing? That's where real success is born. In the dark, in the dirt, in the quiet. You think I got here by showing off? You think I got here by begging for attention? No. I put my head down and went to war with the grind. I stopped announcing everything and started becoming something. I made a decision. I will not need permission to be great. I will train when nobody cares. I will practice when nobody's watching, because that's how you become unstoppable. That's how you become undeniable. Some of you are too loud to grow. You talk more about your hustle than you actually hustle. You post more quotes than you put in work. You're too concerned with looking like you're doing something instead of actually doing something. Let me tell you something. Nobody's impressed by motion. They respect results. The people who are winning didn't get there by talking. They got there by doing. Over and over and over. You know why training in the dark is so powerful? Because that's where character is revealed. That's where discipline is forged. That's where you find out who you really are. When the cameras are off. When nobody texts back. When the energy is low. When the progress feels invisible. That's where you either fold or you fight. That's where you decide if this thing really matters to you. You got to stop living for validation. Stop depending on likes to feel legit. Stop waiting on someone else to recognize you before you recognize yourself. You are the approval. You are the breakthrough. You are the green light, but only if you show up and do the work. When it's hard, when it's quiet, when it's lonely, that's the test. And if you pass it, you won't need to tell anybody what you've done. They'll see it. They'll feel it. Let me ask you this. What are you doing with your off season? What are you doing with the time when nobody's watching, when nobody's calling your name, when nobody sees your potential? Are you wasting it? Are you coasting through it? Or are you grinding like you already know the stage is coming? You want a spotlight? Build something in the shadows. Build your confidence in silence. Build your skill in secret, and when the moment comes, you won't need to announce it. You'll be ready. Some of y'all want a championship, but you haven't practiced like a champion. You want respect, but haven't mastered your routine. You want influence, but haven't earned consistency. You keep saying, when the opportunity comes, I'll rise. No, you won't. You will fall to the level of your training. You will default to your habits. And if your habits are inconsistent, if your training is shallow, your dream will collapse under the weight of your own words. Winners are forged in boredom, in routine, in repetition. The great ones don't need the hype. They've trained themselves to fall in love with the grind. They've learned how to suffer in silence, how to sharpen their craft when no one's watching, how to outlast the mood and stay locked into the mission. Because they know it's not about the moment, it's about the preparation for the moment. So yeah, train in the dark, get obsessed with the silence, wake up early, go to bed late, stretch your discipline until it screams, make your name unignorable by mastering your lane when no one's looking. Because when the light finally hits you, it won't be a surprise. It'll be confirmation. You won't have to explain why you're here. You won't have to convince them to let you in the room. You'll walk in with so much preparation, so much excellence, so much evidence, they'll have no choice but to pay attention. Let them sleep on you. Let them doubt you. Let them say nothing while you rise, because when it's time, you won't need their validation. You'll have your victory. You got to stop letting your emotions drive the car. You're sitting in the passenger seat of your own life, crying over what happened, mad about what they said, hurt by who left, and you're wondering why you're not getting anywhere. You're reacting to everything and responding to nothing. That's not how winners operate. That's not how greatness is built. You will never reach your potential if your emotions are the engine. Let me be real with you. Life is going to hit you hard. People will betray you. Plans will fall apart. Doors will close. You're going to face disappointments, delays, and detours. But here's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Emotional discipline, mental control, inner stability. When everything is screaming at you to quit, can you stay focused? When the pressure is on and nothing's going your way, can you keep showing up? You gotta stop giving your feelings so much power. Just because you feel tired doesn't mean you don't show up. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you stop pushing. Your emotions are real, but they are not in charge. You don't get to quit on your call just because today's uncomfortable. You don't get to throw away your dream because you had a bad week. You don't get to abandon your purpose every time life throws a punch. There were days I didn't feel like getting up. Days I didn't feel inspired. Days I didn't feel strong. But I got up anyway. I showed up anyway. Not because it was easy, but because I made a decision that my purpose is bigger than my feeling. My assignment doesn't change just because my emotions do, and neither does yours. You got to learn how to command your focus. When the world is loud, when distractions are everywhere, when stress is screaming in your face, you need to be the calm in the storm. You need to be so locked in on your goal that even chaos can't break your rhythm. You got to stop giving away your peace to every problem that pops up. You'll keep letting small things pull you out of position. One text, one bad conversation, one negative comment, and now your whole day's off track. No, that's not how you win. That's how you get played. And you're not here to be played, you're here to win. You keep thinking success is about talent, connections, timing. No, it's about consistency. And consistency requires control. Control of your time, control of your thoughts, control of your attitude. Some of y'all are losing, not because you're not gifted, but because you haven't mastered yourself. You haven't taken authority over your emotions. And until you do, you'll keep starting strong and fading fast. You'll keep getting hyped in the morning and discouraged by noon. You'll keep building momentum and then blowing it up over something you should have just let go. You got to protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. That dream you got, it's fragile. It needs your full attention. It needs you to stay locked in, even when you're tired, even when you're lonely, even when nobody believes. Your focus is the fuel for your future, and you can't afford to waste it on things that don't matter. I'm not saying ignore your emotions. I'm saying don't be ruled by them. Feel it, then move forward. Cry, then keep going. Get frustrated, but don't let that frustration turn into excuses. Don't let that pain become your identity. You're allowed to feel, but you're not allowed to stop. Winners feel everything and still choose discipline. Let me tell you something. There's a version of you on the other side of this emotional storm that is more powerful, more focused, more unshakable than you've ever been, but you'll never meet that version if you keep letting your feelings dictate your effort. You got to stop being led by your lows and start being led by your purpose. You got to stop negotiating with fear and start making decisions from a place of vision. When you see the big picture, the little frustrations don't break you, they refine you. You got to learn how to stay grounded when the pressure builds, when the weight feels heavy, when everything in you wants to explode or run away or shut down. You breathe. You center yourself. You remind yourself why you started. You speak to yourself with truth, not emotion. You say, this is hard, but I'm built for it. This is painful, but it won't break me. This is pressure, but pressure makes diamonds. If you can master this, if you can stay focused under fire, stay steady under stress, you become dangerous. You become the kind of person who can't be rattled, can't be moved, can't be manipulated by mood or circumstance. That's how you win. Not with hype, with control, with focus, with a mindset that says, no matter what happens, I keep going. So if today you feel heavy, if today you feel like giving in, good. That means you're close. That means you're growing. That means life is testing you to see if you're serious. Don't flinch. Don't fold. Don't let your feelings write the end of your story. Decide today, my emotions are real, but my mission is greater, and I will not stop until I win. You keep saying you want to be great. You keep saying you want to rise, to lead, to dominate, but then you turn around and start talking more than you're producing. You want the world to know your name before you built anything worth remembering. You want applause before effort. You want validation before victory. But let me tell you something straight. The real ones don't speak first, they win first. The greatest voice you will ever have is not your mouth, it's your results. It's the work, it's the fruit. It's the evidence that you were here and you did not waste your shot. People don't follow noise. They follow proof. They follow consistency. They follow impact. And that doesn't come from talking. It comes from doing. Stop announcing what you're about to do. Just do it. Stop begging people to see your value. Become so good they can't ignore you. Shut down the need to be seen and develop the discipline to be effective. You don't need to explain your dream to people who don't understand it. You don't need to convince the doubter. They're not your audience. Your focus should be on building something that speaks for itself. You keep wondering why people don't take you seriously? It's not because they don't like you. It's because they haven't seen the work. You've got to put the weight in. You got to put the hours in. You got to dig deep and grind when nobody's watching. So when the spotlight hits, you're not surprised, you're ready. Because at that point, it's not hype, it's confirmation. Look, I've learned that talking is easy. Dreams are cheap. Everybody has ambition until it's time to pay the price. Everybody has goals until it gets hard, until it gets lonely, until it gets real. But if you can keep your mouth closed and your grind open, you'll find something most people never touch: mastery. And when you hit that level, you don't have to say a word. The results walk in the room before you do. I'm not telling you to be quiet because your voice doesn't matter. I'm telling you to be quiet so your work can speak louder. You don't need to explain your absence. Just come back with growth. You don't need to defend yourself. Just deliver excellence. You don't need to argue, just dominate. That's the mindset. That's the standard. Stop getting distracted by opinions and stay focused on outcome. People waste too much time trying to impress others who aren't even working on themselves. You keep trying to convince people to believe in you. Stop it. Let your results introduce you. Let your consistency do the talking. Let your character carry the message. Real recognize real, and real don't need an explanation. Sometimes silence is power. Sometimes the most dangerous. Person in the room is the one who doesn't say a word, because you know they're working. You can see it in how they carry themselves. You can feel it in their energy. They don't have to scream. They are the standard. That's what I want for you. Not to talk about being great, but to become great. Not to sound powerful, but to be powerful. You got to stop using your voice as a defense mechanism. You keep talking about the grind because you're trying to convince yourself you're doing enough. But deep down, you know you haven't gone all in. Deep down, you know you've been playing it safe. And you're hoping the talk will cover the gap. It won't. Only effort can do that. Only consistency can do that. Only work can do that. Let your focus be louder than your opinion. Let your sacrifice be louder than your strategy. You don't need to impress anybody. You just need to outlast them, outwork them, outgrow them. Show up so consistently that your presence becomes undeniable. And let me say this. You won't always get recognition right away. There will be seasons where you feel invisible, where it feels like nobody sees what you're building. Nobody appreciates what you're sacrificing. Good. Let it stay that way. That's your advantage. That's your sharpening season. Because when you do finally show up with your results, the silence before will make the impact louder. Stop trying to go viral. Start trying to be valuable. Stop chasing fame. Chase effectiveness. Build something that lasts. Build something rooted. Build something real. Because when the lights fade, when the hype dies down, when the crowd moves on, what's left? That's the test. And if your work is solid, if your foundation is strong, you'll still be standing. Not because you were loud, but because you were true. The world doesn't need another voice shouting about potential. It needs people walking in purpose. It needs people who are done talking and ready to lead by example. It needs people who say, watch me, not because they're trying to show off, but because their life is the message. So stop telling them you're coming, arrive. Stop telling them you're about to level up, rise. Stop saying this is my year, make it your year. Make it undeniable. Make it so loud with your execution that your silence becomes legendary. Let your results be your voice.